Okay, so for my topic outline, for the paper outline at least, I decided to do burnout and how it relates to paramedics in the workforce. And then for my video outline as well, I wanted to go ahead and I guess do that same topic to keep it the same thing and to kind of go back over that and just recite my sources and everything like that. So burnout for paramedics and pretty much anyone in healthcare is already a pretty known thing. It's pretty big. We all know about burnout and we all succumb to it usually everybody because of the long hours and the amount of patience and time that we have to put into work. For paramedics, it is a little bit different, and I do speak from a lot of experience. One, working at the job that I did work at, and we were a 24-hour service, so we had to work 24-hour shifts, 48-hour shifts, and things like that. And we were on call. We had a lot of things that we had to do, and we had to really commit to that job, especially if you were full time. And I want to go over what burnout is. Burnout is known as a condition for people who tend to reach a certain point where you can't take anymore. And it shows in every aspect of your life, whether that be emotion, irritability, trouble sleeping, depression, just unable to emotionally regulate your emotions because you're so exhausted and just tired out from work. Now, I did find a lot of the points that I'm going to name from the World Health Organization, which I gained most of my information from the Agency of Healthcare, World Health Organization, and the National Library of Medicine. Okay, had to review a little bit. But now I want to touch over why, I said it already, but why medics, most part, are at risk for burnout. Like I said already, we work lots of hours, loads of hours, 24 hours, 12 hours, especially in places like, now I'm staying in Stone Mountain, where I used to stay before I moved to Albany. Stone Mountain area, DeKalb County, for their EMS service, they only do 12 hours because they run so many calls that 24 hours would just be too much for them. So they only do 12-hour shifts, and usually, compared to where I was working, which was a more rural service, we had a base where we can go back to kind of chill at. There was a living room area, there was space, we had bedrooms, all that. Here, they're expected to park up at random locations and just be on call at all times. So they really don't get any rest throughout the day or throughout the time that they're not at work. Like when they're at work, they're either at the truck and they're somewhere waiting for a call to come out. Okay, according to the National Library of Medicine, burnout rates for medics are around 16 to 56%. They said, according to whichever metric or representation that you use. Burnout in medics also contribute to poor patient care, poor turnover rates, poor outcomes. And yeah, now, which we were all taught, I can say while I was going through school, we were all taught in school to always seek help and guidance, which is the main things that can help us, especially as healthcare workers or medics, throughout certain situations and certain traumatic events. Medics are forced to see a lot of medical emergencies, whether that being diabetic comas or asthma attacks, just certain things that come with a lot of things, as well as traumatic events like car accidents, gunshot wounds, or whatever the case that may be. So a lot of the times we are requested to go see therapists or talk to your peers or counselors or, just things like that to make sure that we are where we need to be at mentally. Now, that was also something that I took from the National Library of Medicine, but I also did, like I said, get that from personal experience because we were taught that, and I did see that when I was working at my first job. And another thing that can help medics throughout these situations are your employers. Speaking to your employers, letting them know what's going on, but them also being able to contribute and help you, whether that's taking time off or easing your workload or giving you a certain different amount of hours. There's a lot of things that can be done by your employers or your managers to help ease that burnout or ease that stress that you are getting from work. And like I said, the stress can show in all things, all aspects of life and everywhere. I see a lot of people who they used to call the ambulance because they were feeling like they had a heart attack, but it was just from stress. You can get sick from stress, you can die from stress. It's so many things that can be caused just by pure stress or burnout that you really do have to tackle that problem as soon as it arises, or it's just going to show out in every different aspect of your life. But that's it. I'm Jeremiah Haley, and that was my speech. Stop. Okay.